What are you doing?
Fuck you.
Oh. Welcome to Vlogmas day something. Don't know what day it is. But today I'm going to tell you about all the books that I read in 2023, which is only 6 books. I have 4 of them physically and then 2 not here. I'm really bad at explaining books, so I'm going to read the description off of Amazon for you. Okay, we're just going to go, in order of how they are in this pile. First is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I'll read you the synopsis, and then I'll give you my ranking. I have my laptop right here, so let's see. A wedding celebration turns dark and deadly in this deliciously wicked and atmospheric thriller reminiscent of Agatha Christie from the New York Times bestselling author of The Hunting Party. The bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, the bridesmaid, the body. Maybe I could set this down here. On an island off the coast of Ireland, guests gather to celebrate 2 people joining their lives as one. The groom, handsome and charming, a rising television star. The bride, smart and ambitious, a magazine publisher. It's a wedding for one, or for a celebrity, the designer dress. Wait, what? Oh, I'm a mess. It's a wedding for a magazine or for a celebrity. The designer dress, the remote location, the luxe party favors, the boutique whiskey. The cell phone service may be spotty and the waves may be rough, but every detail has been expertly planned and will be expertly executed. But perfection is for plans, and people are all too human. As the champagne is popped and the festivities begin, resentments and petty jealousies begin to mingle with the reminiscences and well wishes. I'm so bad at reading. The groomsmen begin the drinking game from their school days. The bridesmaid not so accidentally ruins her dress. The bride's oldest male friend gives an uncomfortably caring toast. And then someone turns up dead. Who didn't wish the happy couple well? Or, more importantly, perhaps, why? That was, annoying to read. Maybe I won't do that for the rest. Basically, they're on an island. Someone's dead. They're trying to figure out who it is. This is not the book. Someone's dead. They're trying to figure out who it is. I DNF'd this book, which means did not finish, if you don't know. I had really high hopes for it. Maybe I'll pick it up one day. It was just too much for me. Every chapter was a different point of view. There was the point of view of the bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, and the bridesmaid, which I thought would be a cool concept, but it just ended up being too much for me to follow. I also only got 100 pages in. If I read more, maybe it wouldn't have been, but I'm not going to waste my time reading something I don't want to. So this is the first one. DNF'd it. Next. His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This one is there is a man who is a detective, and then he ends up being a suspect in his own crime that he is detecting. And it's a he said she said story. That's why it's his and hers, whodunit situation. It's really good. Alice Feeney is my favorite dark and twisty writer, but I will say there's something in this book that made my belly hurt a lot. So for that, I give it 4 stars instead of 5 stars. I loved the story. I loved the reading, the writing. I loved reading it. I read this in 6 hours on a car ride. It was fast, twisty, all the things. But I would read the trigger warnings if there's anything that you're sensitive to and you don't want to read about it. Trigger warnings. Next, we can talk about the books that I don't have with me, which is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Keep talking about The Housemaid.
The Housemaid is this family hires in, obviously, a housemaid, and it's very, you get the point of view of the husband and the wife. It's very twisty, kind of psychological thriller. And then the housemaid ends up doing something I don't know how to explain it. It's so good. I read it in one night. I read it on my Kindle. It's so fast. So if you like fast and kind of twisty, but not too not really gory or anything like that, read that one. I give it a 4 stars. I would give it 5 stars, but I think it was just, like, there's not enough substance to it to give it a 5 stars. And then next, Chloe has at her house, so that's why it's not here, is The Happy Place, or no, not The Happy Place, just Happy Place by Emily Henry. It's a bright pink cover. It's beautiful. I read it on the beach. This friend group in this book takes a vacation to the same place every year, and they all kind of are like reminiscing on their 20s, and there is a couple in the friend group, and this year they are scared to tell their friend group that they are broken up, so they are like fake dating throughout the whole thing, and then it kind of all unravels of like they're not dating anymore, and then other members of the friend group are like, actually, I am not doing this thing that I said I was doing because I was scared to tell you guys. Like, it just gets kind of real and like adulty, and I
hated that book.
Really?
I couldn't. I read the first chapter and a half. We got to the part where they all get to the house and they're all acting suspicious.
Yeah. Chloe says she hated it. I loved it. 4.75 rating.
But I very much, it probably is a young adult, but I need like young adult.
Yeah, that's fair. Next is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This is an amazing book, an amazing read. Oh, it's so good. I like was chuckling at it. Like I would read like I was reading a funny text message or something. Also, I'm not always like a nonfiction reader. I obviously prefer fiction, but if you want to pick up a nonfiction, pick this up. I think that her life is so insane, and she writes about it in such like a detailed, funny way that it feels like a fiction book. Like, I'm never bored. She goes so into depth, but in like a very, I don't know, like a storytelling way. I don't know how to explain it, but this book is 1,000,000 stars. 1,000,000 stars. It feels weird to rank someone's like life story, so I'm not going to do that. But like, if I were, 1,000,000 stars. Last but not least, my favorite book ever. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I'm not going to do you justice by explaining this book, so I'm going to read the back of it to you. It says, things have been wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Wright for a long time. Every anniversary, the couple exchange traditional gifts, and Adam's wife writes him a letter she never let him read until now. Self-confessed workaholic Adam Wright has face blindness. He can't even recognize his own wife, and Amelia is sick of feeling unseen. Chloe's giggling at her phone. I agree, it's funny.
You did giggle.
Anyway, when Adam and Amelia win a weekend away to Scotland, it might be just what their marriage needs. The weekend may make or break their marriage, but they didn't randomly win this trip. One of them is lying, and someone doesn't want them to live happily ever after. And when I found out what this book was about, I literally bounced out of bed. And I, literally jaw on the floor. If you read this and you think it's boring, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear any slander about this book. It's so good to me. It's so good to me. Right now, how did I just go from, to the next sentence? It's fine. Right now I'm reading The Perfect Marriage because I haven't read a book since July. Hence, only reading 6 books in 2023. So I'm trying to get out of a book slump, and I heard The Perfect Marriage is like a quick, fast pace, can get it done. But I also have The Fourth Wing that everyone has raved about this year. So I kind of want to read this, but we also have The Hunger Games. I have all the Harry Potter series, Magnolia Parks. I have so many books that I want to read. So I need to be more committed to reading. Here's to committed reading in 2024. Okay, thank you for watching. Hopefully I can have some book content in the next year. That would be cool. Reading vlogs or book swaps or whatever. Okay, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.